Hello and welcome. Hope everyone had a lovely Christmas. In this video we're going to be doing a Mini 4, iPad Mini 4, and this one ain't charging, so I've had a look at it already and I believe it's the charger port, but I'll know more when I get the board out of the case. Yeah, as you can see I've taken the screen off and I'm going to remove it from the case. Right, I've taken the board out of the case now, and I'm going to have a closer look. I'm pretty sure it is the charger port mid. I've already had a look at it. It looks a bit chewed up inside, but obviously we need to test this before going ahead. Getting no readings on the amp meter when I plug it in. Looks to me as if there's a pin missing inside, but I'll know more when I look at it under the microscope. Right, let's get a closer look at it. Try and see if you can see down in the hole. See what I'm seeing. Yeah. As you can see on the right hand side there, it looks like there's some damage being caused. Looks like one of the pins are missing. So yeah, it needs a new charger port. Normally and typically in most videos you'll see them change the whole flex cable, which I have in my hand. This is a standard charger flex cable. This is typically what you change. But in this video we're going to be doing something slightly different and a lot cheaper. If you have a lot of charger ports to change, I'll show you a cheaper way of doing it. Because the actual flex cable is not damaged and it's only the dot connector at the bottom, you can change them for these. Brand new dot connector, and these are really cheap. You can bulk buy them for about 60 pence each. This way also allows you to keep the original flex cable. Right, we're going to secure it in the board holder. This is a brilliant board holder. If you need a board holder, this is one I recommend. This or the eye pinch, Quanley eye pinch, pretty good. Right, now it's secured. We're going to captain tape up the connectors at the top. Just above the dock connector there's two plastic speaker connectors, which obviously we don't want to melt. Right, I'll switch over to the microscope camera now, so you can see what I'm seeing. I've secured the charge port down with captain tape. These copper bricks that are placed on top of the plastic connector you can pick up off eBay quite cheap. You're wondering where I got them from. The copper will act as a heat shield. As you can see above the connector there's like some sort of super glue. I think this is some sort of factory waterproofing that they put on there. This will need to be removed in order to get to the solder joints. Right, we'll put 250 Celsius heat on that. We'll remove the waterproofing. It's almost like super glue. I'm using the Quanley 007 tool at the moment, and this is a brilliant tool for this job. I'd highly recommend them. And we're just applying heat and just gently removing this underfill. It will come up, you have to be patient with it. It doesn't take a lot to damage these flex connectors if you're not careful. It's also on the anchor pins as well, that'll have to be removed to expose the solder joints. And then just work our way up and down till it's all gone. Right, I think we've done enough there. All the underfill's gone now. We've now exposed all the solder joints, so we'll be able to get some nice leaded solder on there. Right, we're now going to apply the flux to the top of the connector. It's a little bit stiff, this tube, because it's quite a new one. I've only just opened it. This is the Mechanic 559 UV flux. It looks a bit cloudy to look at, but it clears up once you apply heat. It's really good flux, so I highly recommend it. At the moment on this dot connector there's unleaded solder which don't contain lead, so the melting temperature will be really high and we want to lower that temperature, so we're applying leaded solder to mix with the unleaded solder, so it creates an alloy which has a lower melting temperature, and this will allow us to remove this connector without applying really high heat, because we've got plastic connectors above it and we don't want to melt those. You can use chip quick low melt alloy as well for this, but to be honest with you, 6337 will be enough. That's all I'm using here, and this will lower the melting temperature of the dot connector, and you'll see in a minute it will come off a lot easier. Right, I've applied some more flux to the top of the connector now. Now with this mixture of leaded solder in there, it'll have a lot lower temperature now, and we're going to use hot air. I've got it set at 390 Celsius, 55 airflow. Just gently heat up the joints. Soon as it comes to melting temperature, we need to lift up because it's got anchor pins, and we need to make sure they clear the flex cable. There you go. No torn pads. Right, now I'm going to clean this up, get ready for a new connector now. Apply flux to the anchor pins and the pads. And I'm going to tin each pad and the anchor pins with leaded solder. This will just help it flow easier. Well, I'm applying the leaded solder now to each anchor pin and each pad, and just working my way along. This is the Hakko micro pencil, if anyone's wondering. The micro pencil is compatible with the Hakko FX 951 stations, and it's also compatible with the Hakko FM 203 station as well, I believe. Brilliant little iron. Well, I'm going to whip the anchor pins, expose the holes. This will allow for the new connector. So now we have each hole cleaned, and we have each pad tinned, ready for the new connector. Just applying isopropyl alcohol, give it a clean up, get rid of some of this horrible flux. Give it a wipe down with a Q-tip. I think that should be enough. Right, it's ready for the new connector. Right, here we have the Mini 4 dot connectors. You can buy these in bulk, and you can buy them for every single iPad, every single model. Just like you can the Flex connectors. 9 times out of 10, it's only this part of the charger port that's damaged anyway. It's rarely that the Flex cable gets damaged. It's a lot cheaper buying them this way. It works out about 60p each if you bulk buy them, and also it allows you to keep most of the iPad original, and the repair is hardly noticeable. Right, we're going to get the new connector on now. We're going to start by applying flux. We propped up the flex cable slightly so we can hook the new dot connector in. I just propped it up with a little bit of metal, as you can see. We're going to heat up the solder pads, and once we reach melting temperature we're going to drop it in place. So we're going in at 390, 55 airflow again. As you can see, it's reached melting temperature quite quickly due to the leaded solder that I've mixed in there. Just gotta keep heating it. If it pops down slightly, just push it back in place. Just make sure the pads line up with the connector pads, and then keep the heat. There you go. It's nicely soldered in place now. I'm going to give it a quick inspection before soldering in the anchor pins. But you want to make sure all the pads have made a good solid connection. Have a quick inspection of the pads. Yeah, and they look like they've all made a good solid solder connection. And they're soldered really well. We're going to flip it over now and do the anchor pins. Alright, flipped it over. I'm going to tape it down to secure it, so it don't move around while I'm soldering. And I'm going to solder in the anchor pins now, which will secure the dot connector to the flex cable. Give it a good secure fixing to the flex cable. Just apply some flux. Get these soldered in. And there we have it. Just give it a quick clean up with isopropyl alcohol, and then we'll go ahead and test it. I've started using these wipes now. They are lint-free wipes. They're really good for cleaning up flux. They don't leave any residue on the components. Right, now that's all clean, we'll go ahead and test it. Just give it one last inspection, just to make sure all the joints made a good connection. One last look. As you can see, they've all made a nice connection there. It's all soldered in firmly. Right, we'll go ahead and test it now. Right, I'm going to get this put in the case now so I can test it. Get the battery connected up. Just put it in this Mini 4 case. And then I'm going to connect it to the computer, make sure it's making a good connection with the computer. If it does, then I know the charger port is fixed correctly. Alright, I'm going to connect it now. Have a look on 3U Tools, see if it's detecting the device. I can feel the CPU warming up now, so I know it's starting to power on. So I'm pretty sure everything's fine. There you go, connecting the iDevice. iPad Mini 4, all working. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see some more, as it's a new channel, all the support is needed and much appreciated, so please subscribe for more videos. Thanks.